Alrighty, hello every folks, and good morning. So I am extremely happy to announce something here today, namely that the HD texture pack is actually working properly on the Steam Deck. However, it's going to take a tiny bit of legwork on your part to get it running. So this was recently discovered courtesy of Dagar actually being correct in their assumption a little bit ago that their emulator was looking at issues that it was maybe reading capitalization wrong. But it turns out it's very oddly specific as to why it wasn't working up to this point. Apparently, the Steam Deck in particular has a capitalization issue. Different capitalization issue, as in usually it doesn't care if the folders are, say, with a capital M or a lowercase m. That turned out to be the issue, because if you look over here, for all other devices, this does not matter. If you're on a phone, if you're on a Retroid, if you're on any of that, doesn't matter whatsoever. However, if you're on Steam Deck, here's how you get the HD texture pack working. For one thing, you go over here, Portraits, UI, World Map, and if for some reason you have any of the other ones capitalized here, switch them to lowercase. Now, before you go switching absolutely everything to lowercase, it's not absolutely everything that's lowercase. It has to match over here. So you switch over your Portraits and UI, and then go into Portraits. Shopkeeps, monsters, and generics need to be switched to lowercase. At that point, you should be all good to go. Everything should be nice and HD for you, and everything should work as normal. This took a surprisingly long time to figure out. You know what? Don't judge. There were way smarter people than me that were running into the same issues. So anyways, that's kind of what we're looking at here. Kidoki, so what does this give you since I apparently decided to hit the mute button for the rest of this recording? So the HD texture pack will give you colorized health bars that'll change color depending on the remaining health of the unit. It'll change a lot of the visuals that you're running into. Updated portraits, updated visuals for, again, basically everything, different effects for certain types of attacks, and a lot of the icons are just a lot easier to read on a bigger screen. Some of them will take a second to get used to if you're used to the older stuff, but yeah, it looks really darn nice. A lot of them, like especially the ones for breach, strengthen, and all of that, are technically more accurate to the mechanics themselves. So, for example, saying that it's improving the actual toughness of your character, or overall, kind of strength rather than improving your weapon specifically. I know it's a weird thing to specify, but like technically this strengthen buff that was just a sword going up is like, it didn't really improve your weapon's penetration any, but the kind of improving strength, that does make a bit more sense. Anyway, okay. So yeah, improved visuals on a lot of things. I don't know specifically what's changed. You can go through the files for those. But yeah, there's a lot of updated stuff there. All portraits are going to be using the reborn portraits and or One Vision custom versions of that kind of stuff. So looking over the different things that are available here. You've got alternate versions that, for example, will be things like One Vision with the different colored griffins, or the red undershirt for Gildas, gold lands, Undertaker, Donalto, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of little bits and pieces for you to change with. By default, it's going to use the default stuff. You've also got additional ones that weren't there before, so stuff like an undead Cassandra that's all torn to pieces and stuff like that. So either way, there's a lot of little bits and pieces that got changed in all kinds of fun ways. So that's friggin' fantastic. Anyway, let's see. Aside from that, let's go ahead and talk about some visual stuff within the emulator real quick. So a few things to mention as far as your settings go. It's recommended to run this at 4x. Personally, I was running it at 2x on my phone, just presumably to save battery. I didn't really see any difference, but if you're an absolute stickler for visuals, maybe that makes a difference for you. Either way, apparently it has to be an even number for some reason or another. As far as settings go, everyone's devices are going to be a little bit different, but given that it's a Steam Deck, hopefully it should be fairly universal here. So stuff like these speed hacks over here should pretty much always be off. As far as your performance stuff goes here, personally I've seen hardware and software skinning generally making everything not jitter, so if it's different on your end, good for you. As far as I can tell, that's how that works. I constantly get linear and nearest mixed up on a lot of things. I believe this one is supposed to technically be nearest. I just set it to auto max quality, and it seemed to look nice, so that seemed to be fine there. Anyway, so with that being said, yeah, that's how you go ahead and fix it. You just make sure that these capitalizations are correct. There's still a decent chance that there were some things that I overlooked, because I did notice a couple of the portraits maybe seeming a little bit off. So basically what I've been doing is going through and like anytime I see something that's a little bit janky, I go and double check to see whether it matches up with the text file. So if you look at the text file again, you'll see what it's checking for very exactly. Just remember that it's only on Steam Deck that this matters. If you're on phone, you're already working fine. If you're on Retroid, you're already working fine. This is specifically something to do with Steam Deck, that it's just more specific about wanting these particular things for some reason. So if you see anything that seems off, just go ahead and double check to make sure that it's not, you know, overly capitalized. And again, to reiterate this, some of them are capitalized in the notes and not capitalized over here, or rather are capitalized in both places, so don't just automatically go around decapitalizing everything, you know? So specifically, hang on, what was it? There was something in the UI, I think, that had that. Yeah, so like, for example, originally I went and did that exact thing, except as you can see, some things are meant to be up or down or whatever else. So in these particular cases, what you do, Control F, we go over to the title screen and we see, okay, so title screen clouds, that needs to go ahead and be lowercase, but we see something like title screen logo white 1, that one's going to go ahead and be uppercase. So just Control F, double check it. There's thousands of lines of code in here for different things, so just double check to make sure that you're not going and deleting something out of existence, okay? Okay. Actually, hold on. Selection box, that one looks right. Selection highlight blue. Yeah, that one looks right. For some reason, I thought it looked a little bit off. Anyway, so yeah, just go ahead and double check these things wherever you need to. As far as I can tell, it was only those particular ones, but you never know. Actually, tarot cards. Tarot cards were lowercase over here, and then let me double check that that's still correct. Tarot cards, yeah, were actually lowercase over in this section. Okay. Then we're putting those back to lowercase. For some reason, in one section, I could have sworn I saw that uppercase, but there we go. There's that one. So now the tarot cards should be showing up properly for the intro. I believe that's for the intro there. For the ones that can show up at the very start. So those should be looking all nice and pretty and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, hopefully this helps you out. Again, remember, if you see anything missing, if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment if you see anything else that's missing, so that we can all just kind of, you know, put together a little thingy to know what's what. But yeah, that's about that. So y'all have yourselves a good one. Thank you for stopping by. And finally, it's time to go get started on Know Your Unit 1 Vision. Which is funny because I literally just finished Know Your Unit Reborn. So, perfect timing, perfect timing. That was just like an hour ago, give or take. And then I go and I see a little thingy saying like, oh yeah, I just ran into the same issue for this other game, and then a little bit of spitballing later, it turns out that yeah, the answer was the folders the whole time. Not all of the folders, just some of the folders. So, alright, good stuff, fantastic, and I will see you in the next one. Y'all take care. Bye.